Hi, and one of the questions that I continue to get, I feel like I made a video about this last year, but I think it's about to be 2022, and I think we need to talk about it again, is are we in a housing bubble? Is this a housing bubble? Is it unsafe for me to buy? Well, let's talk about it. The reality is, we had the same conversation last year. People were saying it's a housing bubble. And let me tell you a story. So, we had a client who bought their dream house and they were in the Army Reserves and they got called up 3 months later to be stationed somewhere else and they had to sell their house. If you have to sell your house 3 months after you buy it, it should be devastating financially. The reality is, we got them well over what they paid, and they were able to break even on that sale in 3 months. Now, you may be thinking, oh, that story, yeah, it's a housing bubble. That's crazy. You shouldn't be able to do that. But the reality is, when we step back and look at the numbers and the math and all the things that you need to look at when you're looking at the housing market, we see no sign that this is a bubble. And I'll tell you three reasons. Number one, we are still in a housing deficit. There were about 10 years where the home builders were not building enough homes. And what comes of that is we now, 10 years later, don't have enough homes for the people who are able to purchase because a lot of the Gen Zers are paying off their student loans, or Gen Y, or whoever's Gen it is that um, is done about 10 years out of college now. Like, they're paying off their student loans, they're able to buy houses, and they were renters before and now they want to be homeowners, and there's no inventory for them. So that's number one, there's a deficit of homes. Number two, interest rates are still low. I know we're all hearing rumbles about interest rates going up. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, or when it's going to happen exactly. But it's also, the roof's not going to be blown off and it's not going to go back to the national average, which is like 7%. We're still at like 3 and 4%. So interest rates are still fabulous. And number three, Nashville in particular, our market has a huge influx of businesses coming into town. There's just time after time more announcements of people bringing 10,000 new workers, 100,000 new workers into the area. So our economy is strong, which means demand will stay high. So for those three reasons, I don't see it as a housing bubble. And the reality is, last year when you asked me that question, if you'd bought a house, you would have made about 20% on your money. So can it go on forever? No, but all economic signs point to this is just us catching up from the deficit that we have, and it is still a great time to make a move.